Now, I wanted to do a quick walkthrough of how you can use Linux within your Windows system. So here I have a Windows laptop, and this is running Windows 11. There's all the details right there. Windows 11 Home, Intel 12th generation i5 processor, 1235U, 1300 megahertz. Okay. This is a tunnel. It's TCP. So it's connecting over to SSH to the Linux shell. So this is connected to this computer. Now this is an 8-core computer. This has 16 gigabytes of RAM, and it has only Kali Linux installed on it. So Kali Linux is very powerful. It's free. So it's really interesting to see this because this is a computer that used to have Windows and then took off Windows, replaced it with Linux, and it still works great. Windows 11 was really slow because this is an older model, and but Linux, fortunately, you can just customize it, make it lighter so that you can run. One of the ways that I run local LLMs is with this system. This is called Ollama, and it's using a model that's from Mistral. And so I have to run it through the command line, right? So it doesn't have a fancy graphical user interface. So, and every time that I load this model, it has to import these, import the GGUF using an existing layer. And then once it loads, I can ask it a question like, what is the name of the restaurant from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? This is running on this actual processor, right? So that's this CPU right here. This is the one that's processing this question right here. The restaurant at the end of the universe, often shortened to Rito, is the key location in Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series. It is situated in the prehistoric Earth, shortly after its destruction from the Vogons. It is known for serving the best food in the galaxy, including pan-galactic gargoyle blaster. Right. The restaurant is run by a multi-armed waiter and has been visited by characters like Ford Prefect, Arthur Dent, Zaphod Beeblebrox. It even starred of Bart Fast. So this model, it's on this computer, and you have to create what's called a mod file. It's an open source model, meaning that they freely make available the weights and all the system setup. So the mod file just has this template. This is like the prompt. It takes in the beginning and the end. Then you can adjust the temperature parameter and the top P parameter, and so this, and then this is the bat file. So I had to create this bat file, which is a Windows command line. So it just goes cd users Ollama models. Ollama create my custom Mistral-F model file. personal computer that's running Windows, and that's connected to the internet, and you can plug in your local drives, and when this is dependent on your specific version of Windows that you have. And then you have all the software that you buy, purchase subscription, download Steam games, you have your own computer model. I have a Linux computer. Linux is an open source operating system, and so it doesn't rely on Windows. It still has access to the internet, and it has access to drive, and it doesn't have to have many dependencies on. And Linux also has its own set drivers, which means that it doesn't have to. It has more customizability, but it also has higher maintenance, and it's much more difficult to configure. But you can also have local drives that are within your LAN, and you can have local large language models that don't rely on the internet. If you want to stay within your private network, you can use a local LLM. This has to run on your own processor, your own personal computer. That uses a stored set of parameters, but it's pre-trained. It's pre-trained using the internet, using the cloud, by other computers that are much more powerful. It's like a gigantic computer processes the calculations, and then when you run it on your local computer, it just asks a very specific subset of those parameters. You can then connect your local computers together if you have Windows and Linux using an SSH tunnel, the two computers that basically speak different languages in order to be able to communicate effectively. We can save money on our networking data services. We can reduce the amount of carbon emissions and the amount of electricity that are generated. As you have more devices that are connected to the network, it means that your bandwidth gets split. The more things that you have running, the less powerful each one of the things becomes. Service for your subscription for your phone, and it doesn't really matter if you're watching TV on cable. You want to be adding value, uploading as opposed to just downloading, and creating as opposed to consuming. No, that's basically, you want to be like not just doing diversify. Try to have multiple points, multiple contact points. Don't rely just on like paid subscriptions or on one particular product, even if that product says it can do everything. But that's tied to one specific service. And so if they increase their price, if they try to deplatform you, and your entire system could have a single point of failure. But by diversifying and having multiple nodes in your network, multiple servers and backup servers, then you prevent the possibility of a total blackout. I had my email go down recently, but I had backup emails. You want this password to be separate from this password, because if an intruder gets into your Windows computer, they're not going to be able to get into Linux unless they know how to do the SSH tunnel, and only you have the password for that. And if they get into your Google account on the cloud, you can just unplug the internet, cut these cables, and you'll still have everything here safe, right? Think of it like a zombie apocalypse. The zombies get into your iCloud, you want to quarantine them off. Quarantine off to here, right?